from the clip we just saw, it's obvious that Jacob Black has a much larger role in the film than he's ever had before. He breaks off from Sam's wolf pack to form his own. He acts as a mentor to Seth Clearwater and has to protect Bella from his old pack.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about your character's newfound freedom in Breaking Dawn Part 1?
Yeah. It's difficult because Jacob at the beginning of the film is like the Jacob you've always seen before. He's young, he's immature, he's in love with Bella, and then he gets his heart crushed. He doesn't really handle it very well. He handles it how Jacob would usually handle that. But throughout the film, it's amazing to watch because he becomes a totally different person. I mean, he's kind of forced to mature and become his own man. And yeah, he has to take a stand, and if that means separating from his pack, his brothers, I mean, he's willing to do that, and he does. So I was super excited about Jacob's journey in this film. It was very challenging, but I had a lot of fun with it. I can't wait for everyone to see it.
Cool. All right. So this is the point where we're typically going to go to audience questions, if you guys want to start lining up. But before we do that, I do want to let you know we have one more surprise, right?
Right. And not much more to say about this, except for it is a first glimpse of Kristen and Rob on their honeymoon.
Turn it over to audience questions now. So if you guys want to line up at the mics, and we know that there's a part 2 coming, but if we could keep the questions to part 1, we would really, really appreciate that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. So, do we have sound on the mics? All right. There we go. So we'll start on the right side over here.
This question's for Rob. Did you have more fun playing Cedric Diggory or Edward?
Well, I was only... I don't know. They're both really, really fun. I mean, I didn't really know what I was doing when I was playing Cedric, because it was so early on. I mean, I didn't even particularly know if I wanted to be an actor at the time, so it was fun in that respect, considering I was genuinely just playing around. But you know, Twilight has really changed my life, and you know, it's allowed me to live in this world, which it's very difficult to. It's almost impossible to find another way of living in it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Edward, obviously. Edward was really, really fun.
Great answer. Thank you.
My question's for Taylor. You have very physical roles where you portray your martial arts. Where you portray characters that use your martial arts skills. Do you want to be the next action star, or what are you looking forward to do after the Twilight song?
I do. I mean, I've always been a fan of action movies. I mean, it's definitely not all I want to do. I mean, what I love about acting the most is being able to challenge myself to, you know, many different things. And you know, I love Jacob, and this franchise has given me an incredible opportunity, and I'm so thankful for it, because it's given me the opportunity to do what I love to do, and that's go on and challenge myself more and play different roles. My next one is I play Nathan in Abduction, and he's completely different than Jacob, which is a weird change, because I've lived Jacob for so long now, but it's exciting to challenge myself with that. It's a good question, but I'm really excited for you guys to see that as well.
All right. Hi. Nice hair, Rob. What was your guys' initial reaction when reading the Renesmee birth scene?
I thought it was so cool. I think that we really did try to go as sort of hardcore as we could. It's definitely not your typical birthing scene. I mean, it took 2 days to shoot and 2-day labor. It was really hard. but literally in the book, you know, there's this part where I'm sure you guys all know, she's literally choking on blood that she's been drinking and like just out of her mind, like, you know, because you've got, it was always in my head that, I mean, she's able to fight harder than any human really would be able to because of a little bit of that in her, literally. Now I'm like really embarrassed. Anyway, so, and also, at that very part too, you get to see, and I got to play with having venom run through your veins and start to feel just like the hell that is, and that's after a moment of like sheer exuberance of looking at your baby for the first time, and actually being able to like have a moment of like calm breath, and then like out of the worst birth, violent, crazy hellhole into the next most like even worse. So that was fun. I was excited about it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi guys. First of all, it's really nice to see you all again. And I'd like to make a comment. Rob, I was very pleasantly surprised by your back muscles in the trailer. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say nom nom nom. My question is actually for Kristen. After all these years, you finally got to experience vampire makeup, and I wanted to know what that was like for you, and if Rob's whining was justified, or if he was just being a big baby.
So justified. I mean, you do feel so locked in there all day, although it helps too, like you're so much more conscious of your movements, and the contacts suck so badly. You can't see anything, and thus people cannot see you, I feel. You know, you can't, there's no getting in there, and especially when we both have them in, it's like... so yeah, no, justified, I think.
Hi Taylor, hi Kristen, hi Rob. My question is for Rob. I was wondering if I could give you a CD, and then my second question, because I gave you one 2 years ago and I wanted to give you another one. And my question is, what is your favorite scene to film?
Yes, you can give me a CD. What was my favorite scene to film? I think probably the birth scene. It was kind of, it was different to anything. I mean, you never really get to, well, I never get to play Edward in a way, but he's, I mean, literally is so aware of his own helplessness and and is very frail and human. I mean, normally he's kind of either controlling himself or totally in control of the situation, or pretends he is, and then he's just, there's no one else around, and it's just left with, he's trying to help Bella, but has no idea what he's doing, doesn't know how to help her, and there's nothing he can do, and he's just desperate. And normally when that happens in all the other movies, Bella comes in and saves the day. Like, I get the climax of that, I'm either gonna get my head ripped off, or I'm gonna kill myself with the Volturi. Every single time, like, Bella comes in and saves it, but Bella isn't there to save anyone, so someone else, like probably Jacob or someone, comes in and saves the day. But it was nice to play just total, you know, he's totally annihilated by the situation, so it was fun.
You know, that's a good question. If the rest of you wouldn't mind answering either, we could be quick. You know, what your favorite scene was to shoot. Bill, do you have one?
You know, it was funny because someone asked us before, and it really is like, there's so many big things that happen, like the honeymoon, wedding, that they all, I really don't have one, because like they all were like these huge challenges that we were facing. So I have a lot of favorite scenes.
We'll go. I don't want to put you guys on the spot. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Next question.
This question is for all of you. My mom would like to know, what was the difference for you from filming in Canada than it was in Louisiana?
Well, all of the exterior stuff was shot in Canada, and so we were outside the entire time when we were up there. So the second half was everything outside. And then we were on a stage primarily in Baton Rouge, and most of the stuff that we have to do inside is kind of the more emotional, just more based in reality. Not that anything in the story isn't. It's just that it's just personal, intimate scenes together between people in the house and stuff like that. So it was really a different tone change when we went up to sort of do the more active stuff. I was a vampire much more often when I was in Canada, which was cool. Yeah, that's
Cool. Next.
I'm so excited for Breaking Dawn. What scene are you guys excited to reveal to the fans?
In part one. Right.
right.
I'm going to be boring right now, and I'm going to go back to the birth scene. I want to give Bill some credit on this one, because when I read the book for the first time, the birth scene was a lot to take in, and it's such a, it's so interesting, and I had no idea how it was going to look visually. And I gotta give Bill some major credit here. It is, it's really amazing. It's stunning to, I don't want to give too much away, so I'm gonna force myself to not talk right now. But the birth scene is phenomenal. And Bill really did an incredible job with that, and I think you guys are gonna be really, really pleased.
Well, it's sort of like the whole, not to be too talkative, I'm usually not like that, but it does completely give you everything that you've, Bella's a fighter. She's been fighting for everything that she, not just wants, but everything that really feels sort of destined to her. And in a weird way, you have to sort of give her credit of having semi-divine intuition at times. Because when you see her fighting, literally, she will die. She's said throughout the whole series that she's willing to die for what she's fighting for, but now you see that she's literally absolutely willing to, and pretty much does. And to see that straight up in your face like that, right, so harshly, undeniably.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, and it's what the whole story's built to, so it's not to focus too much on that scene in this, but it makes sense.
Thank you.